This is Sunseeker's Superhawk 55, and this is quite a fascinating boat, and the reason that this is a fascinating boat is because 55 is a real sweet spot in the range for Sunseeker, and they do 4 55-foot models. I'll explain that to you a little bit more in a second, because we can actually see a little diagram with them all on. But this particular one is very much based around day boating, cockpit living. Of course there are cabins, but it's a cockpit focused boat. And I'm going to explain that to you right here, because if you look on this little diagram of all the different Sunseeker models, we can see up here, where are we? Here we are, Superhawk 55, but there's also a Predator 55, which is a sporty boat but with more accommodation. They're bringing out a Sport Yacht 55, which is a sporty boat with more accommodation and a small flybridge. And there's a Manhattan 55, which is a full flybridge with massive accommodation. So you've got a lot of bases covered, and it means that when they designed this, they could go all out for day space, for living space, knowing full well that people who want to major on accommodation have got other options within the range. Now the first thing to talk about is right back here, because this entire bathing platform will submerge. You can put a jet ski on here if you want to as well. That will drop away into the water, and as it goes down, it takes this transom with it. And what that does is reveal space for a Williams mini jet tender. It actually looks quite James Bond as it disappears and the tender appears. That's a really, really cool feature. And when it comes back up again, the whole thing just disappears from sight. You wouldn't even know it was there. That is rather cool. Talking of cool features, I love details like these stainless steel engine vents back here. I love the Union Jack doors that come across here, and we'll see that Union Jack theme as we go through the boat. Of course, it is a British boat, so that's quite an appropriate thing. And the other thing we've got back here is this entire back section will lift up for storage. Because the Williams is down below deck level, the deck level is just here, it means that all of this can become storage for deck gear. You can put a couple of sea bobs in there if you want to. It just gives you ultimate flexibility. And talking of ultimate flexibility, you can see we've got access on both sides here, so we can walk around and up and through the boat really, really easily. And it just totally maxes out the day space and the fun that you're having when you're anchored up somewhere nice and everybody's in the water and having a great time. Again, more flexibility here, because this backrest will lift up this way to give you aft facing sunbathing, but you can also lift this one up this way to give you forward facing seating. So again, depends how you're using the boat, but again, it taps absolutely into that fun vibe, day space, living out here. Table will unfold for dining. You can have an awning, I should probably say, that comes out of the trailing edge of the hardtop there if you want it. And then right up on the top there, you can see we've got the radar and the searchlight and the antennas and nav lights and all that kind of stuff. And the cleverness continues here, because look how much space there is here. So this is like having it in, I suppose, day mode, where everyone's here chilling out. There's loads of space for kids to run around. It's just a really nice open space. But then imagine the evening when you want to dine out here. What you can do here then is push this little button here, and this whole thing will slide. Ooh, there we go. Even more easily than I expected. Into position. That one does the same, and then you've got seating right around the table. And rather cleverly, what it does then is it opens up access through here, so it doesn't block your way through, it just moves it. I think that's really cool. And then when you're done with that, it just slides back equally easily to there. That's excellent, isn't it? Love the lighting in this hardtop. And then there's an outside catering area here. So what you've got in here, usual kind of stuff. You've got a big sink in the center. You've got your barbecue underneath here. There is fridge at this end. Storage in the center. Ice maker down here. There we go. So you're totally catered for drinks, for frying up a bit of food, doing a bit of a barbecue. Absolutely fantastic. There's even space for a couple of champagne bottles in there. And then the other thing we've got here is your glasses down underneath here. Now another really neat feature of this boat is the fact that this cockpit, which is massive, is almost full beam. If I come around here, you can see the side decks are vestigial at best. So they've brought this right out, and that's what gives you this colossal amount of space. And you might think, well, okay, then how do you get forward? Well, very simple, because what they've done then is put doors up here. And in fact, I think I'll walk you around the outside first, because this is very much an outside boat. So these doors open right back like this. You see these little sockets in the floor here, and that's because these will actually pin into place. So you can even have these open when you're running. So you've got maximum through flow of air. And the other nice thing with this is these are canopy sections here. You can see they're flexible and they go all the way around. So it's not the sort of hard top that wraps right around. It is a proper open boat with a sun top on it, rather than having it all enclosed as these things often are these days. Let's take a stroll around here. And another massive space up here. Now with this, I think I'm right in saying they're going to change this, because at the minute you have to step over into here, and the idea was to keep the aesthetics really, really sleek. But because you're quite high bulwarks here as well, and that's fairly well hidden, I think what they're going to do is put a cutaway there, so it makes it much easier to walk into this area. And this is just a big seating area back here. There is storage that goes right back underneath it, so for canopies and that sort of thing, that's all catered for there. We've got lighting in here as well, which is nice. And if we come right on round and up to the front, what you can do with this then is pull that little knob, and the whole thing slides back like that. So if you would rather have just a massive sun pad up there and a bit of seating at the front, well then you can do that, and there it is. Or bring it back if you'd rather have the seating. A lot of thought gone into this one, isn't there? Very, very uncluttered foredeck, again with this neat lighting built into it. So your actual anchor handling kit is underneath here. There we go. So anchor winch, of course, and then this is the actual remote control for it just here. The anchor itself is down underneath there. There's another lifting section there. There we go. Let's drop that one back down. And let's head on a bit further, see what else we can find. In fact, let's go around this side, because then we'll have gone around the whole thing. Yeah, you can see that hard top here a bit easier. And you can see how there's this gap all the way around. Fantastic. Right back here then, again, of course, with the side door that opens on these big, glorious hinges. Let's pull that across so we can see it. Let's not, because it's pinned back. I don't know how to release it. Ah. Here we go. Seek and ye shall find. There we are. Look at that. It's a nice bit of hinge work there, isn't there? And these then, when they close, this just secures them then just by pulling that into there. There we go. Let's put that back. Let's slide that back down. There we are. And we can edit that bit out later. Helm position. We've not looked at the helm, have we? Triple seats across here. This is really nice. Lift bolsters, of course, so you can drop those down for sitting. It's IPS on this one, so we've got the IPS joystick, also the bow thruster, then engine controls here. Multi-function display. Clearly you can have another one over on this side as well. Unusual for this not to have it. Rev counters are in here, but also air conditioning outlets, so you've got what they call spot air conditioning, so you can just have this directed at you for a bit of cool air if you want to. And we've got the control system for the boat. This is on lights at the moment. Over here, cup holders, usual bits and pieces. That's excellent, isn't it? VHF radio is tucked away down here, along with some of the buttons. And there's a little scan strut charger in here to drop your phone onto and charge it. Thusly, there it goes. Fantastic. I'm going to remove it again because I tend to wander off and leave it behind. They've even put a little stainless steel fillet in there to make sure it doesn't slide off. Oh, they think of everything, don't they? Big sliding door here, so this comes across like that and onto the inside. Now, back to what I said earlier, if you are wanting to max out on accommodation, absolutely not a problem. I'll do other models that do that. This is focusing on day space. Having said that, there's still a pretty decent space down here. And I mentioned that Union Jack motif when we came on board. You can see it up here. You've got these glass panels and this sort of atrium feel, and then these spars that go across that are done like a Union Jack, and you can see how those are echoed down into the headlining just here as well. This one's got the straight settee. Some owners are opting to have an L shape here to make it just a little bit more sociable. TV is an option on the wall if you want it. Some people are, some people aren't. They're putting hull windows in down here, so your view is straight out across the water. You've got big windows up here as well, so there's a huge amount of natural light coming into this area. I love this woodwork, where this is pale grey and sweeps down into there. I think that's an oak. That's really nice. Very, very contemporary. And then there's a small galley. Again, we're back to the fact that this is a day boat style of boat, so they've not gone overboard with this, but it has got the Miele oven, it has got the hob up here with the downdraft extractor, like that, which is rather neat. Sink, of course. And then in here we've got some storage and crockery. There we go. Very nice. Again, with this beautiful wood detail like this. There's a big fridge freezer over here. Like so. But yeah, that's just a nice big open space, isn't it? If I come right back here, check that out. Excellent. Now there are two cabins down here, one forward and one aft. It's kind of hard to say which is the master really. I don't think either is. I think they are just two cabins. They're both a good size. So this cabin up here in the bow has the central double bed. The big hull windows, of course, those round sections are opening sections. We are at the Southampton Boat Show at the moment. There's the Sunseeker stand on the land. And again, we're seeing that kind of Union Jack style motif up there in the ceiling. There is a escape hatch up here at the front that goes straight out up onto the bow. Of course, you've got little reading lights in here. It's a nice cabin. You can have a TV in here if you want. That will go on this bulkhead. This one's chosen not to. And behind me then, and behind the door, we've got a big wardrobe. The ensuite to this cabin is in here. Big separate shower, really good size. And then if we come on aft, we'll find another cabin. These traps in the floor are to access engineering areas. So, for example, that one there is getting you to the black tank, it's getting you to some of the plumbing, that kind of thing. So it's just if any maintenance is needed, that's the way to get at it. You can see them dotted around like so. And if we come back to this one, again another nice cabin. Now in here, we drop into here like this, and we've got full standing headroom, but then it drops a bit as we come down here. I mean, it's still very good, but it's not full standing. And that again is back to what I was saying earlier about the fact that this boat is designed around the cockpit. It's a cockpit bias boat, and if you lose a bit of headroom in here, then so be it. If you don't want that, if you want maximum headroom right the way through, they'll do a 55-foot boat that will give you that. But yeah, this is all about day boating, outside living, and so they've not compromised the cockpit to get headroom in here. They've compromised this cabin a little bit, but still a perfectly well-formed and functional cabin. This is nice. You've got these storage areas down here, and then that slides across like so, and down in that corner then you've got your power sockets and USBs and things for your phone and bits and pieces. You know, I keep saying it's a day boat, it's a cockpit orientated boat, but there's obviously no reason at all why you couldn't spend a week or two on here for two couples very comfortably indeed. No problem whatsoever. As I say, it's just simply that the focus is shifted slightly on this one towards the outside, that's all. Hanging locker there, and the ensuite is in here. And this one has got the shower. It's like a wet heads, so the shower's in that area, but then you've still got this space out here as well, of course. Very nice. Bit of storage about the place. Bit of a mirror wave. Hammer golden. There we go. Light switches over here, air conditioning control. Over here as well. Good. That's fairly comprehensive. Let's shut that door properly. There we go. That's nice, isn't it? I love this whole atrium thing though here going on. That feels great, doesn't it? This is a proper med boat, isn't it? I don't imagine you'll see many of these in the UK. You never know. I'd have one of these in the UK. But I suspect most people won't. I suspect in the UK people would go more with a Manhattan 55. But this down in the Med, just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's go and look at the engines, and then I think we're about done. This is what this boat is all about. Look at the space out here. And this is what I mean. You know, they've not compromised this by putting a step up to try and increase the headroom in that mid cabin. They've just kept this one big flat open wonderful area. That works brilliantly. Engine access then, that's over here. And we'll head on down and take a look. Here we go. I mentioned it was IPS drives. These are the engines in question, and they're a pair of IPS 950s, 725 horsepower each. They're giving this boat almost 40 knots. I think they're giving the official figure at about 38 on this one. So cruising at 30 knots then is very, very comfortable. And at that sort of speed you'll get about 235 miles of range. Usual story, drop the speed right back. At 10 knots for example, you're getting nearly 500 miles of range. So it just depends what you want to do. You can see the tender garage there. That's this big central section. Fuel tanks are outboard. There's a generator in the centre. There's a seakeeper right at the back, a gyro stabiliser. And then if I can spin on round and hook out over here, it's a boat show, so we're a bit full of gear at the minute, but the other engine obviously is over on that side. There we go, big vents in here as well, fire suppression, all the usual kind of stuff. Excellent. That's some good performance though, isn't it? You'd want it with a boat like this. It's a high performance looking boat. It wants to have the speed to go with the looks. Height adjustable table, as you can see, it's on the telescopic leg. And that, I think I'm going to say, is a fairly comprehensive tour. Let's drop that one back down. There we are. And I think we'll head back up to the bow to finish off. There we go. And that, my friends, is about the size of that Sunseeker Superhawk 55. Massive thanks to Sunseeker International, they organised this tour. Massive thanks, of course, to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that one, and we'll catch you on one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.